What's going on? Welcome to Straight Gaming, and I am joined by Temp. What's up, Temp?
Hey, what's going on, dude?
We're gonna do a tier list, a pre-release tier list on Street Fighter 6. So none of this is gospel. I know things are gonna be completely different when the game actually does come out, and we're just gonna have some fun going over the different characters, where we think they land. We're going off of all the hands-on videos that we've seen from like Max, Ruffelmonger. Yeah, this is completely non-gospel. Like, we know that we know for a fact that when the game comes out, like, this tier list can completely change and stuff. So I want to make that very clear.
Yeah, and it's mostly for funsies too. Like, It's cool to be able to look back on this in like 2 months and be like, okay, where were our intuitions correct? And I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be interesting to see how everyone's tool set reacts to DI. That's kind of the main principle I'm using to determine who I would put in what category and whatnot.
Yeah. So number one, of course, we're starting with Ryu, the OG Shoto here. Where do you think he lands, bro?
I'm going to put could be a problem.
Okay.
Because at least in the beta, he's one of the few characters who had like a safe cancel that could not be interrupted. His range is good. His projectile game seems fairly strong. He does very well, in my opinion, compared to other characters when he's in Burnout. That's not always the case with some of the more offensive leaning characters. So, but at the same time, though, like a lot of people had him as the best character in the beta. I don't agree with that. I think, as a matter of fact, if you look at like the PAX tournament, that is very much not the case. So, yeah, I think he's strong. I don't think he looks broken, but I think he's gonna be very annoying. Anytime a character has sort of like a low execution ceiling for very strong tools, that's always going to be frustrating. And I don't think he has really any obvious weaknesses, and his damage is dumb. So I'm going to say could be a problem.
I didn't see like a lot of like high hit combos because he's always been a very reactionary character. Even people like Daigo are going back to playing him. You know that he has significant potential, and that's actually why I agree with you. Normally I would put him in look solid because he's always that middle ground character, but in this game he actually looks like he could be like pretty good.
He has a lot of like plan Bs, right? He can play his game as always, like he's still Ryu. But like he doesn't really have to commit. I think Ryu is going to be very difficult at a high level to play against, and I think we're going to see him a lot.
I'm actually looking forward to a lot of the competitors using him as well. So it's going to be cool to see him like back in the forefront again, because it's been a while since I've actually seen Ryu be used like in a top 16 or a top 8. Moving on, Luke.
I want to say looks solid, but I don't know. Like, Luke is kind of a big question mark for me, but I think his projectile game is surprisingly good. And yeah, I don't think he has really any very obvious mix that's going to create problems for people. I think a projectile game can only get you so far in SF6. So yeah, I don't think he has any huge weakness, but I don't see any very obvious strength that's going to push him over the look solid category.
I would agree. I'm going to agree with you on that one, because I think with the parry system that your projectiles can only get you so far. Luke, I don't think is going to be near as a problem as he was at the end of Street Fighter 5, especially with the Street Fighter 6's mechanics and engine. So I think looks solid is actually like the perfect place to put him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, Chun-Li.
Oh, this is tough because there's like two Chun-Lis. There's Chun-Li like as sort of the footsie, like neutral character that we always know, and then there's the Chun-Li that's going to emerge once everyone learns how to manipulate her stance options. But and I'm probably going to be wrong about this, but I'm going to say could be a problem. Actually, I think she's very strong because she can drive rush into her command leap and cross you up, and it's reactable, yes. But that's the thing about Chun-Li in this game. She has so many options. You just can't be ready for everything. Kind of like how Alex was in Street Fighter 5. Seeing what Alex Myers did with like her Okazemi on landing with her overheads, it's like, wow, that's really smart. I also think like her combo options are gonna be dumb in a way that won't be the case with a lot of other characters, just because again she has so many options. So I think she's gonna be really good, and there's actually tournament footage to support that. But I think Chun-Li's good. I think Chun-Li's really, really good.
All right. Well, you're the Chun-Li main, so
yeah, she's great in this game. She's kind of what saved this game for me. I didn't really have a character till Chun-Li.
All right, Jamie.
Gosh, man, I don't know. Jamie is kind of like another character where I'm like, I see the potential there. Okay, I actually think he's pretty solid, but I not in the way that Luke is solid. So I'm going to put might struggle. I just don't think he's going to be able to drink like whenever he. I mean, obviously he won't be able to drink whatever he wants, but I think, which is not bad. Like he has decent neutral without any of the drinking, but I don't think it's enough.
Yeah, I mean his mix-ups are really good. He struggled before he can get his drinks in, and as long as you got your drinks in, you were fine. So
even with the drinks, I don't know if you can DI any of those mix-ups when he's in the drunken master mode. So if you can, that's gonna be a game changer.
All right, Guile.
Could be a problem.
Okay.
That could be true too. He could be broken. I think Guile's very, very strong.
Yeah.
If not the strongest, the second strongest character in the beta.
I can agree with that. I mean, he was also very strong in SF5. I mean, he's always been like very strong, but his perfect sonic boom or whatever it was called, I thought that was super cool. I think with the parry system, he's not going to be as prevalent with his projectiles, but I also think that's probably why they balanced it out with his perfect sonic boom.
He's like a looks solid character who's going to get away with murder. Because I think just the psychology of the Guile matchup, no matter how solid or not problematic he is, he's still Guile, and he's got very good tools in this game. So I think he's going to be really annoying. And he's a scumbag in SF5, just
I know.
Completely degenerate.
I know. And I'm a Cammy main. You can imagine, like, they're just...
Yeah.
So you can imagine it's just like, okay, walk up, medium kick, just wait for him to make a mistake, and then you can get in there. Kimberly.
I'm going to say might struggle, because I think she's all gimmicks right now.
I would agree with you, but the thing is Guy was really strong, and she's pretty much like a reskinned Guy.
Yeah, but Guy didn't have to put up with a parry system. She pretty much has to alternate a lot of her options with throw just to deal with the mechanics of Street Fighter 6. So I think that by itself, and her setups I think are really, if she goes into look solid, it's going to be because of the spray paint, in my opinion, not because of her neutral. So I think there's something there. I don't think she's I don't think anyone in Might Struggle is a bad character.
No, not at all. But, in fact, I really liked both Jamie and Kimberly. I like a lot.
Yeah, I think like if you don't know how to fight Kimberly, you will just explode. But even that, I'm not sure about that anymore, because you can probably just mash DI through a lot of that. Now, granted, like her aerial mobility could nullify sort of the DI defense, but we'll see though. I'm not sold on Kim at all though.
I am. I think she's going to do well. I agree with the might struggle part. In both Jamie and Kimberly, I think it's, like I said, this is not gospel. It's probably going to change when the game comes out, but I can imagine them being low tier when the game first comes out. And then when they finally do a balance patch, I think Jamie and Kimberly are probably going to be the two characters that will get the buffs. I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong, because I didn't see both of them being a problem in beta.
That idea is terrifying. Like a buff Kimberly scares the crap out of me.
Yeah. So you're like, the potential is there. Just give her some buff and she'll be like broken.
Yeah, I think at the very least,
like
probably the spray paint could be a little better.
Year 2 Ibuki.
And the thing is, Ibuki was kind of like Kung Lao in MK11, where she was always good, but no one wanted to put in the work.
Yeah.
And then they gave her the most brain dead V-Trigger 2 of all time. And like she just shined in top 8 after that. Yeah,
so I agree with them. Jury
looks broken.
Why do you say that?
I think her install is very good, but even if it wasn't, and you're gonna hear me say that a lot about Jury, the phrase "even if it wasn't," because I think like this girl could make a career out of Standing Fierce. Standing Fierce, counter hit, and drive rush is so powerful with this character, and there is no distance you are safe from Jury. Her drive rush covers like 2/3 of the screen. So you can never breathe. It's like Guile's projectile, only her whole body is the projectile. Yeah, I think in a way she's almost a scarier zoner than some of the zoners.
I don't think she's, in my opinion, I'm going to put looks broken because there's no one there yet and because you said so, but I think could be a problem is more appropriate in my opinion, and the reason why is because they gave her back her dive kick, and on top of that there's a follow-up with it in her level 2 super, which I think is the install, right? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the equivalent of a dragon install. And then on top of that, she doesn't need to charge her Feng Shui engine in order to get those specials, and you can actually use those specials to charge the Feng Shui engine so that you can actually cancel into other specials.
And the specials are built into her combos, so if she wants to get a stock, it's her combo ender. Just naturally, like if you want to do optimal damage, Like it's she's going to get the stock just by doing a bread and butter.
So after saying everything I just said, I'm just going to go ahead and agree that she.
Well, it doesn't even stop there.
Yeah,
it doesn't even end there because you can also use her Fireball Loki, and that's really good. And that just to me shuts down a lot of SF6 mechanics. The SF6 mechanics diminish greatly when your back is on the ground and she has a fireball in the open, and her damage is good.
I know.
But here's where I have to say, even if it wasn't, she still has Standing Fierce, which covers the entire neutral. I think it recovers fast enough where you can actually still match DI if you see a DI coming and where your opponent tries to anticipate that. I think Jury's great.
I would hope that Just a Kid is listening to this and he's just, like wiping his hands together like an anime villain, just being like, yeah, she is. She's going to be broken. Anyway, Dhalsim.
Gosh, he's kind of wavering between looks solid and could be a problem, but I'm going to say looks solid. His projectile game is actually on par with Luke's, which I did not expect. I don't think his projectile game has ever been that good. It's mostly for setups in the past, at least to my understanding. He's never been like a Sagat type zoner, but his fireball game is really good. His teleport is unbelievably easy to do now. So his IAD stuff or instant air teleport stuff is just very strong. His damage seems to be there, and with the range he has, I don't think he is as susceptible to DI.
See, I'm gonna say could be a problem because of his zoning. Like all of his fireballs and his instant teleport, his instant air teleport, like you said, was actually like really strong. I would honestly think that Dhalsim could be a problem.
So I'll agree with that. I'm not confident, but I think there's a very strong case for it could be a problem.
Yeah, I honestly think that zoners are kind of like the top tier for this game. E Honda.
I have no idea, man. I will say might struggle. He's not plus on block for hands anymore, which probably isn't going to be a big problem, but I have no idea. I'm going to say might struggle just because I have not seen any dirt from this character yet.
See, I actually agree with
no confidence.
I know they took away the piano key inputs for his or 1,000 hand strikes, whatever it's called. So they made it to like a traditional input. His hitbox was really big for his butt slam, but other than that, I didn't see anything threatening.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm more than happy to be proven wrong on this because I think Honda, this is like the sickest he's ever looked, but that's like his model, his gameplay, I have no idea, man.
Okay, besides, because we've talked about this, besides Cammy, by the way, personally, I love Cammy's look, but just set aside Cammy because I know you like her old look better. Do you think most of these characters, would you agree that most of these characters, it's the best they've ever looked?
No, I don't. I think Blanca is an atrocity.
You didn't like the face. You thought they got the face wrong.
Yeah, well, also, like, torn up overalls are not going to look good on anyone.
Good on minions.
A few times, but I mean, honestly, speaking of which, Blanca-chan basically is like a bizarre looking minion.
A minion Blanca-chan.
Ken looks like He-Man, and I don't like the trench coat. I really like the banana ponytail he had before.
I think it fits his lore, but other than that, I kind of like his look just because it kind of just fits lore, and it's like a different look for Ken because it's like, I remember when we first saw it, we're like, oh, scumbag Ken, left his wife and kid because he wanted to reach, a higher tier than Ryu, but it turns out no, he's actually on the run protecting his family, which actually made me like him even more.
I do like that. See, that part's great. I have no problem with that.
That's why I'm like, I embrace the trench coat because being both a husband and a father, I'm like, there's not anything in the world I wouldn't do to protect my family. And I'm like, Ken, who was born into privilege, got the Masters Corporation handed to him on a silver platter, and here he is, willfully living in the dumps to protect his family. That's heroic, and that is love and heroism at its finest. So I embrace it. All right, Ken.
I don't know. I'm gonna say looks solid. I'm not really sold on Ken at all. I'm really open to being wrong on this, but from my time with a beta, I think anyone with good fundamentals is gonna go very far with Ken. I'm not really sold on his pressure, to be honest with you.
See, Max Dude had a very different view because, he is a Ken main. He'll always be a Ken main.
True. Yeah.
But he did say this is the best Ken has ever been. So like I take that to heart because I don't play Ken, but to me, he looked solid. He just looked like he had solid fundamentals. He's just a solid all-around character. So
yeah, I think that's exactly how I would describe him. I think solid is the best way to put it. I do not agree with Max entirely on that. I like Street Fighter V Ken quite a bit in terms of his specials, but I do not like him in terms of his buttons. I like Third Strike Ken a lot in terms of his overall build, but there's other things about that. I think he's also kind of boring at the same time.
I was very happy with Street Fighter V Ken. I thought he was really well done there. I mean, and you can't go wrong with Third Strike Ken. That's one of the best Ken has ever been as well. But I've always been a huge fan of Ken. He's never been in my rotation, but I always enjoyed playing him. And in Third Strike, I mained him. He was my main in Third Strike, but that was just because he was overpowered.
And I like the character too. I like Ken a lot. I think Ken is a really cool dude. My question to Max would be, what is the one tool he has that puts him above the other beta characters? Because to me, he just looks really solid. I think he's very good. I don't think he has any like obvious problems. So I'll give him that. But he is about as good as Luke in my opinion.
Okay, that's why I said I put him on solid, because I don't think there's anything that needs to be buffed nor anything that needs to be nerfed. He just looks solid.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
All right, Blanca.
So I'm going to put Might Struggle.
Okay.
Just because he looks like, to me, mostly SF5 Blanca. And his newest tool, which is the doll that he can electrocute and turn into a zoning or a setup tool, it's like 50 frame startup, and it doesn't do anything unless you use a shock move. Your opponent can literally, in the time it takes for Blanca to set that up, your opponent can literally do anything. 50 frames is a long time. So I don't see any utility with that tool right now.
At the moment, it's kind of like the same as Street Fighter V, at least for me. The way I see it is that, like, he's going to be a problem if you don't know how to defend him, but if you know how to defend him, or like, you know, his entire kit, and you know all the ins and outs of how to get around things, I don't think he's going to be a threat.
The one thing he has going for him is his install, which is very similar to his previous V-Trigger. I think that looks strong, but it's also expensive, so we'll see. I don't know if he's going to be able to make a career out of that. And you know, I'm okay with him being in I think the Might Struggle territory is probably where Blanca always should be. When you have a character that's random, as Blanca is, you don't really want to make them too strong.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he's almost in the perfect spot.
All right, DJ.
Man, I have no idea. The fake outs, I don't know if they're going to be good, but they're going to be good against me. I do very poorly against that type of a meta. His tools overall look pretty strong to me. He's very flexible. My position has always been that DJ is just a more interesting guile, at least from a gameplay perspective. And his fake out thing is going to be very important for like parries and DI. So I'm going to say could be a problem.
So I'm going to say could be a problem because I've looked into him a lot, and his feints, fake outs, feints, in boxing we call them feints, but his feints I think are going to be a problem because they're going to be very confusing to people who are defending him. On top of that is like rhythm buffs.
I was watching Sajam talk about it. It was kind of confusing. So I don't really know myself, but he has no shortage of options. He can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he looks to me a more advanced Shoto. Kit is very, fundamental. He just has a lot. I think in this particular case, he has a lot going for him. So, like I said, the feints, the rhythm, and his machine gun punch it looks super strong. So I think he could be a problem.
I think the frame data is what's really going to sell me one direction or the other. Like if his machine gun uppercut is like not only safe, that might even be plus. It's a charge move, I think, or maybe it's not anymore. That might have changed. But if he can do stuff after that and it's low risk, that might put him into broken in my opinion. But we'll see. Yeah. I don't know. I'm speaking from ignorance here. All right, I think it could be a problem. Is a good spot for him.
I think so too. All right, Manon.
I'm going to be the minority here because I know the Discord does not feel the way I do about this character, but I think she looks solid. I do. Okay. Everyone else has her as either broken or problematic. I am not sold on that. She has a really good throw game. I think once she gets all those media buffs, she probably goes into broken. But right now, her buttons are butt. I don't think she's very good in the neutral. I think she has a lot of work to do, and I think the mechanics actually work against her until she gets those media buffs. So I am not sold on Manon. But I think she's got damage. She's got combos.
Yeah.
She's got mix. Once she does get in, she goes straight to looks broken, in my opinion.
I think we should meet in the middle because I think she looks broken.
Okay.
So
interesting. Okay.
You're
not alone in that. That's the consensus right now.
I'm gonna put her in could be a problem, and I understand that because a lot of people have looked at her and thought that she looked pretty top tier. I think Manon can be broken because yeah, she gets her buffs like the more metal she gets more metal, she gets more a metal every time she gets a grab, and that's her entire kit is based off of her grappling. So it's like it gets better and better and better as the match goes on, the more and more she gets. So of course you have to rely on your grappling, but she has her pull in, same thing as grappler in DNF Duel, to where you know she can pull you in. The one thing that got me was her anti-airs and her instant overhead. She has such a long reach with her anti-airs, so, and you can anti-air into a grab.
Yeah, it looks good.
The instant overhead is going to be very hard to react to, and on top of that, the anti-air into a grab, it looks insane to me. So I think she's broken. So because you say looks solid, I'm just going to put her in could be a problem, because I think day one people are going to flock to Manon. So
what I would say to the listeners, especially the gameplay guys in our Discord, blow me up. Like, let me know what you think and where I'm
prove me wrong. Yeah,
because I think nothing you're saying is incorrect. I just don't know how unique a lot of stuff is to her. Like Chun-Li's got not an instant overhead, but a very good overhead that she gets, that auto sets up after EX legs with a drive rush. Jury even has a pretty good, I think she can combo from her overhead. At the very least, make save from drive rush as well, at a much bigger distance. Maybe, we'll see. I don't know. There's scaling to be factored into all that.
Yeah.
But I think she could be a problem.
All right, Marissa.
Looks broken.
And okay, I was going to put could be a problem. So
interesting.
Why do you think looks broken?
Her mid-range is dumb. I think she has crazy good mid-range. And my understanding is that some of those mid-range specials are plus on block. So what some characters don't even get on low medium kit cancel, she gets her free at mid-range. So there's no, at that point, there's no Street Fighter 6 mechanic that can save you if you block that. And you have the threat of that so many different distances of the mid-range. So that scares me by itself. It seems like she has mix as well. It seems like she has a command throw. I think she's got great damage and great range and great safety. I don't know if you can do better than that.
No, I think her mid-range was very good. I agree with you on that one. The fact that she can close the distance with her Superman punch was super cool. And yeah, she does have a lot of good damage. And I believe that like the police hold punch that she does, that's a command grab. Now that you say that, because I was going to put her in could be a problem, but I think she looks broken. So I would agree with you there.
Pulled up a video right now of her enfold command throw, and even though it does look like it comes from her Scudam stance, it still looks, it's fast. It still looks really fast to me.
Yeah.
So you're not reacting to that, and she has plus frames to set it up. So I'm actually hoping I'm wrong about this, because aesthetic standpoint, she's not one of my favorite characters. She's not the character, like Jury is a good top tier, because I like Jury. I don't mind seeing 5 Juries in the top 8.
Yeah.
If it's like the Marissa show, I'm going to get bored of that really quickly, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Luke problem at the end of Street Fighter 5.
We'll see how she responds to DI. That probably would be the thing that brings her down a bit, but we'll see.
JP.
I also think looks broken. I think his risk reward shuts down a lot of mechanics.
I'm going to completely agree with you there. Looks broken. I just made a video on JP. Dude, his zoning is insane. He has a void rip to where he can either do an overhead projectile or teleport. He can double teleport. He can void rip to a projectile and then teleport. And on top of that, it's like his combos are pretty much like a get away from me, and they will send you to the entire other side of the screen, in which you can throw a low, a mid, a hot, an overhead projectile, another overhead projectile, a command grab projectile. So his level 2, it hits you from every direction. It's unblockable, or at least it seems that way. And then on top of that, his level 3 is tracking. So anywhere on the screen, doesn't matter what. So it's like if he has a level 3, it's like don't mess up. Pretty much you have to sit and block and wait, because the moment you try to jump in or the moment you whiff on anything, it's like he can grab. And then the last was his parry, which I don't know how prevalent it's going to be, but summons a tracking projectile.
Annoying. I'm not looking forward to fighting that.
Yeah, he is the zoning god. The only person I can even equate to that is probably Scarlet from Mortal Kombat 11. Every possible projectile you can think of, like, he has it. But the command grab projectile, I think, is going to be a problem, because you can throw out a low projectile and then a command grab projectile, an overhead and then a low and then a command grab. I think he's going to be a huge huge problem.
I don't know why they even did that. I don't know why you'd put in a projectile that you can't parry in a game with a parry mechanic. That seems so weird to me. I don't love that, but it'll probably be fun for the JP player.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure day one we're going to see it. That was the other character. I said day one, I think we're going to see a lot of Manon, a lot of Marissa, and a lot of JP. All right, Cammy.
I'm going to say could be a problem. It's funny. The thing that boosts her out of Looks Solid is the same thing that keeps her out of Looks Broken. I think her aerial game is insane. She has a lot of frame duration with those air moves. So you can DI a lot of it. But with the hooligan mix-ups, you can command throw, which I think shuts down DI. I just don't know if it's fast enough. Gosh, I want to say it looks problematic, but she could be Looks Broken. But right now, I'm going to say it could be a problem.
I'm going to say it could be a problem because I see her. Now, I'm a Cammy main. Having said that, the reason why I'm not putting her in Looks Broken, because I'm trying to be as realistic as possible, because I want to put her in Looks Broken. But because of her hooligan mix-ups, and her spinning knuckle is actually like really good in this game, or looks really good according to the people who got their hands on with the game. They said that Cammy is the combo queen, dude. She's just like really good for that matter, which is great because it's a huge step up from Street Fighter V. So I look at her as like a perfected Street Fighter V Cammy with insane amounts of combos. It looked like her spiral arrow and her cannon spike is slower on startup, and yeah, you're right, her aerial game looks really good. I think you said it, I don't know if I said the hooligan mix-up or the hooligan options looks really cool, and I'm glad that I think it's really cool that you can hooligan into to grab, and then you can combo after that looks super cool. I know that there's a follow-up after her cannon strike, but yeah, I think Cammy could be a problem as it sits right now. I think she's just going to be problematic, but not to the point where you're going to see her like 8 Cammys in top 8.
I really need to check out her frame data, which I don't know if it's available yet. I would like to see what the frames are on her target combo, because she gets so much on that target combo. It's very hard for me to believe you can't full combo punish that. But like, once you're hit, you are in so much trouble against Cammy. And I agree with pretty much everything you said. It just
yeah, that's the thing. Once you get hit, that's the biggest thing. Once you get hit, then it's a problem. The thing is getting hit. She might have a problem opening up her opponents. I think there's a very low threshold on how bad she can be. I don't see her being outside of the top 10 with all that damage and all those tools. She can do so much stuff, and she has such a mix. No, she's definitely top 10 for sure and everything. I'm just pointing out all the things that I think is keeping her from Looks Broken, which I don't want people to confuse with could be, because she's going to be problematic. I want to remind the audience too that being top 10 in this game, so that just top 10 means you're not one of the worst characters in the game. It's not even that big of a claim. You only need to be better than 8 characters to be top 10. So I don't think we're saying anything controversial here. All right, Lily, the daughter of T-Hawk. You know, it's funny. Venob said an article saying that she might not be the daughter, so I don't know what to believe anymore. What even is a Lily, right? I don't know. She's a smaller T-Hawk. Yeah, she's mini Hawk. I'm not confident at all on this. I think she personally looks broken. Really? It's the range, right? At mid-range, she can blow you up in an instant, and she can charge also on Oki. She can also end her target combos with her wind charge too. So her reward for hitting you is very high, and she can hit you pretty much right at DI range. That's very scary to me. It's another one of those characters where I don't understand where the weakness is. But I'm pretty sure the Condor Strike is actually really good. Yeah, it seems very strong to me. I need to check the frames on it, of course, but I see no drawbacks to this character right now. I don't think she's as good as Jury or JP, and I cannot wait to do a follow-up episode where we compare and contrast what actually ends up being the case. Yeah. But right now, stay tuned for part 2. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun video. Yeah, with I don't want to say too much yet because what's up? No, I was gonna say, how wrong were we with Lily? I do not see I see no drawbacks to her risk reward. I'm gonna put her in Looks Broken because you said so, because she's one of the characters that looks super cool, but I have not looked too deep into her kit yet. And I've yet to. I know that there's a couple of videos out there that I have not gotten to yet, but her kit looks super cool. Her Condor Strike is strong. She has a really good mid-range. So moving on, last on the list is Gief. I think he looks broken. Tell me why I'm wrong.
I don't think you're wrong. I think it looks broken.
Oh, okay.
I think you're 100% right.
I think he looks broken, dude. His hitbox is insane, dude. His grab is so far. You could be so far away and he can command grab you.
Yeah, I mean the big restriction for Gief in the past was geography. Mm-hmm. You know, he struggles against projectiles. He struggles against mid-range pokes, but he had the stamina to take the hits. Mm-hmm. Rocky 1 style. Now he has drive rush, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like he has a plus frame range game. Basically, every normal he has is now some version of Green Hand.
Yeah.
So it's like that sounds horrifying. A plus frame Zangief with just broken damage. I'll be honest, man. Like, this is the first time in history I've ever been like, man, Gief looks sick.
He does. They give him pants, which is cool. I kind of wish they would have left the Lucha Libre mask on him. That would have been cool.
I don't think anyone has talked more trash about pants than myself, right? But I think I think he looks good. I think the pants look really sick on him. No. I think that was the edge he needed to look really tight looking.
I 100% agree. It's really funny too because you see, you ever seen Ralph Breaks the Internet? In Chun-Li and Zangief are both in it, and they're him and the girl. They're just sitting there talking trash about Zangief, and they're just like, man, he only grows hair on just his chest, on just his calves, and apparently it's like, and you can see like hair poking out of his boots, So ever since then, I just look at Zangief and like kind of like can't take him seriously.
He's always been silly since day one. He's a silly design, and that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of silly designs, but Zangief actually, like, this is the best, not only the best he's ever looked, but it looks like it's the best he's ever gonna play. And ending with Zangief was perfect because it actually leads into grapplers are the top tier in this game, dude. It's like, it looks like the grapplers are the ones who are going to be the problems, which has not been the case for a while or ever. I've never known people to like play. It's always been kind of the Shotos, the balanced characters, the offensive characters, but you don't see a lot of grapplers, making it in the top 8.
Yeah. And Street Fighter 5 had so many grapplers, I even feel like Marissa almost feels like in spirit, like the next rendition of Mika. It's like if Mika had like neutral, that's what Marissa is to me. So
I was gonna say Alex, like her moveset kind of reminds, the way she looks is a lot like Alex.
Yeah, I can see that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be really interesting to see what a Lily versus Zangief even looks like in this game. It's gonna be kind of crazy.
who's gonna grab each other more?
Man, Gief is gonna be fascinating in this game.
He is, dude. It's gonna be fun. Like, I did see a couple of Giefs at the last event.
Because they revealed Lily.
Oh, never, dude. You know what it was? It was Texas Showdown. But it was really cool that I actually saw a bunch of a couple of Giefs in there. It was cool to see.
Yeah, Japan and America have always disagreed on a SF5 Gief. They've never been on the same page. Mm-hmm. But it's fun hearing like people talk about Gief on a high level in SF5. Just because he was so contentious for a while. Yeah,
like on a positive level too. People are looking at him and being like, dude, Gief looks cool. You've never heard those words come out of people's mouths on a like as a natural consensus, So
definitely not a consensus because I would have never said that in the past. Now I'm like, wow, Gief actually looks tight.
Yeah, both mechanically and aesthetically. Anyway, but yeah, comment section below, tell us how we're wrong. We would love to know why. Blow the comment section up, let us know why we are completely wrong in this, and then after the game comes out, we'll probably give it like a month or two before we come back to this tier list, but find out next time.
I think Chun-Li is where people are gonna what's up? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your outro, my bad.
But yeah, no, that was you kind of ruined my Dragon Ball Z send-off right there.
Yeah, I felt bad about that.
It's like, will Juri remain in Broken and will Ryu make it up to the top tier? Find out next time.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
So, all right, dude. This was super fun. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. This was a blast. I'm really excited to do the follow-up to this too. So
yeah, for sure. So yeah, make sure we'll probably do like a month or two afterwards. Like I said, post-release tier list, see where we stand with the characters, see if we were right, see if we were wrong. And if you think we're right, if you think we're wrong, please tell us in the comment section below. So, yep. Thanks again for watching.
Yeah, take care, everybody.
Yeah.